the problems we've had in Scottish football for quite a few years now. The teams just don't last long enough. So if you get past a couple, get 4, maybe 6 games, it's or possibly even getting the league stage, I mean, that is a massive help. So that, I think that'll certainly have lifted the group, and they will go to Ibrox. Well, expectations for a lot of people will be limited, but you know, what is there to lose? And I think that's the attitude that Hibs have generally taken to Ibrox in the last while.
Pat, your thoughts on Rangers? Heard Tom English earlier on. They've started with that draw against Dundee United, had to come from behind and didn't really hit the heights. Got a great start in Poland against Jagiellonia, and then in the end probably happy just to lose that one by 2-1. So do you similarly feel it's hugely important for Derek McInnes and his team to get a positive result this afternoon?
Yes, and I do go back, and again I agree with Tom. I might stop doing this agreeing with Tom. The lack of creativity, you know, real creativity, and I think they've got players that can score goals. I think it's there. I think they've got a fabulous manager. I think they've got an absolutely fantastic manager, so he will get the best out of the group, and there may well be 1 or 2 more that has to come in. So, and it's gelling them and knitting them together is the big thing. The amount of times that you go to a new club and they have to find out what your strengths are as a player, but you also need to know the strengths of them and what they like and how they like to receive a ball. It takes a wee while sometimes to get that, and remember, Derek has to know and understand the strengths of all the players that are there as well. Big miss is making the not being there is a lost one, but they'll look around, and I still think they will get a little bit of creativity, because with a bit more creativity, you know, in a kind of 10 position and a wide position, I think there's people that can go score goals in that team.
I mean, look, it's certainly a squad that by the time the transfer window finishes, Pat, it's already incredibly different to what we've seen in recent times. But it's I mean, it's great from the club's point of view. From the fans' point of view, you see new players, you're hoping to have new heroes there, but it does mean that the group might take a little bit of time, I guess, to settle in and to really
but then again, if you get a win, but if you get a game, like even if they win today, you see Lauren Shanklin scores a couple, how do you feel then? Suddenly everything looks rosy, and you know, he's great, you know, what he's done at Hearts all that period of time. But if you will get more opportunities, you would expect, playing for Rangers, you know, because you will dominate a lot more games. He should get more chances, and he may well have, you know, the best season of his life. And if someone like him does that, then there's every opportunity that they can start flying. And that confidence, to talk about all the teams, they will get that really quickly. And again, go back to the manager. I think he's a really technically talented manager. He also knows what he wants, and if there's, and I think the fans want to love him. They absolutely desperate to love him. So, you know, yeah, it's not been the start they absolutely wanted. Is it panic stations yet? Miles and miles away from that yet, but there is more to be added, even though Rangers have spent a lot of money, as we've talked about.
Rangers against Birmingham will round things off for us this afternoon. That's at 4 o'clock. We'll have live commentary from there. We'll have updates from both Tynecastle and Fir Park for the 3 o'clock matches. Hearts against Dundee United, Motherwell against Falkirk, and of course we get up and running with the 1:30 game in Ayrshire, Kilmarnock against Celtic. It's the latest round of fixtures in the SWPL Cup, the league stage of that. All the matches kicking off at 1 o'clock. Incredibly, Montrose are already 3-0 up against Hamilton in their game. 3-0 up within 8 minutes. In fact, they were 3-0 up within 5 minutes. Hell of a start for them. Another couple of goals. Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 1, and Aberdeen 0, Spartans 1. We'll keep an eye on those as those sides continue to battle through that league phase. We'll continue to build up, of course, to the game at Rugby Park and a full live commentary as Kilmarnock take on Celtic. Let's just take a few moments to look back on what happened yesterday. 2 games in the Premiership, home wins for St Mirren and Dundee.
The Scottish Premiership, live on Sportsound. Dundee versus Aberdeen.
Now here's Charlie Riley coming in off that left-hand side, crossing the halfway line, stabs it forward for Joe Bevan. We're going to take on Guinness Walker here on that right flank for Dundee. Curls a great ball in, Wesley, goal! Brilliant start for Dundee. Terrific ball out from Joe Bevan, and Wesley timed his run to perfection and met it on the volley and just guides it beyond Marius Muller from about 7 or 8 yards to make the scoreline after just 8.5 minutes. and it's Dundee 1, Aberdeen 0.
That's a top class goal, it really is.
Riley into the box, it's going to come here to Bevan. Bevan gets his shot off, there's the goal! Stunning finish from Joe Bevan, exactly what his performance deserves. It's Dundee 2, Aberdeen 0.
You know, I thought to man they were incredible, and it's probably the proudest I've been after any Dundee performance since coming to this club. You know, I have a vision and how I want the team to ultimately play, and today was as close to that vision as we've been.
I didn't recognise the team from what has been a very good 6 games. We didn't do what we do. We didn't outfight them, we didn't outrun them, we didn't outbattle them. They done the opposite to us, and their front four set the press, and then we couldn't cope with it.
We broke a couple of records today. It was the first time this club has beat Aberdeen on 3 consecutive Premier League games. It's the first time this century that we've won 4 consecutive home games in the Premier League. But I can honestly say I am so pleased and proud of their performance today.
Last week everyone was getting carried away. I said don't get too carried away. The same with defeat, you can't get too low with it. Yeah, we'll certainly have better days than that, and I'm positive we will.
St Mirren versus St Johnstone.
Liam Smith tries to play it quickly. Oh, does that strike an arm? St Johnstone have appealed. Penalty. Alex Gogic is penalised and St Johnstone have a chance from the spot. It's Jamie Gullen. And he's missed. Jacob Chapman with the save. Jacob Chapman is the hero. John round the corner. Samuel Ramos will chase it. Looked like a lost cause, but he's won his side a penalty. Toby Stewart pleads his innocence. Here's Killian Phillips. It'll be a short run up. And he sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Killian Phillips makes it 1-0 to St Mirren. And it's a tale of 2 penalties in Paisley.
Delighted for the group, hard fought win, maybe get away with one with it. It's a fantastic save from Jacob from the penalty, and then we can bet our penalty. So it was kind of a really fine margins in the game, but games are going to be like that for us, and we have to show that fight and resilience when you've got to defend at the end, but could have maybe got a couple on the break late on as well.
You have your chance, you don't take it, and opponent, they will get their chance, and they took it. So then second half, game of 2 penalties, and as I said, they took them, and I congratulate them. 6 points out of 6 is a great start. We know there'll be tough points during the season, and when those tough points come, we have to stick together and keep fighting. As I said it after the first match, we don't want to be this naive, nice footballing team. We are here to get the results. We are here to compete, and today we compete. The result didn't go our way, but we compete today, and that's the only thing I can ask.
The Scottish Premiership, live on Sports Sound.
We'll turn to the game at Danes in just a moment. Let's start with that one in Paisley. St Mirren with a win. Tom English, you were in the studio. In fact, I think I heard you later on admitting that St Mirren were your tip for relegation. They just need another 32 to 34 points and they'll be absolutely fine.
Thanks for broadcasting that. I was, yeah. And listen, I didn't say it until yesterday, so I'm being honest. After the event, I did think St Mirren and St Johnstone were going to be in trouble. But St Mirren have started very, very well. That was a battle yesterday between the two of them. 2 penalties, 1 goal, not many shots on target really, not a whole lot of chances. So it was a real grind. But St Mirren probably just about deserved to win the game. So 3 points, wow. I mean 6 points out of 6. What an incredible start. Again, it just shows you the capacity for this league to make everyone look like mugs. You look at the league
it's
table.
Interesting, isn't it?
Top of the table.
Because actually, the talk was it would be a different style St Mirren, and we've seen that at times under Craig McLeish. But actually, what they're also showing, they showed it a bit last week, and they absolutely showed it yesterday from the highlights I saw. Well and truly prepared to enter the battle, and of course back-to-back clean sheets to start the season as well.
Yeah, no, listen, impressive. Killian Phillips, 3 goals in 2 games.
Yeah.
Really, really valuable player for them. And it's confidence, like. I mean, I think an awful lot of people, it wasn't just me, an awful lot of people said St Mirren could be in trouble this season. And they might yet be, but this is a hell of a start for them, and you can imagine that everyone on Monday is going to be bouncing back into training. It's a feel good, and they want to ride this wave as long as they possibly can.
The 2 penalties, what did you make of the decisions?
I thought the St Johnstone penalty was probably a penalty, although my view of it was, we were watching it here on the monitors, and we didn't really get a clear view of it. Gogic's arm seemed to be out. Second penalty, I didn't think it was a penalty. I don't think the St Mirren penalty was a penalty. I don't think there was enough contact there, or any contact there. I'm perfectly prepared to stand corrected if there's other angles on it, but the views that I saw, I didn't see contact there.
No, I must admit, I thought it was difficult.
That's hopefully the last one I make for a wee while.
So that is Celtic last season. Pat Bonner, what are you making of Celtic this season? Do you still think there are big improvements to be made to this squad, despite a couple of impressive signings so far, particularly in the attacking areas?
Yeah, listen, I expected them to sign about 6 players in the close season. They've only had 2 in. I think they have 13 out, which is quite incredible. And then, of course, the big talking point is, will Alistair Johnson and Ingles be here? There's a couple of clubs down England very interested in both of those, and if they lose, I think Alistair Johnson would be a big blow, because he is the one that gets forward, he's the one that overlaps, and there's a goal in them also, and a creativity, so losing him would be a huge blow. And they have to get players in. They've got this Champions League coming up now, which is an incredible task for them, because they have to get, last year they missed out, they left it too late, they didn't get the players in. This year everybody was expecting them to get enough players in to get them through that leg, and if it goes against them, I think the pressure will come on very, very early. But listen, the two they've signed, Casper Hu up front, he's a big guy. I think there are goals in him as long as he gets the service, but they need to get support to him from midfield and maybe from the wide areas. Durant played out on the right hand side last weekend. I don't think he's a winger for sure. I think they played him just to get him into the team. I think he could play off him, but that means then that they have to change the midfield a little bit, and they might have to drop the player like Negrin who gets the goals. He's not a player who'll come into the middle of pitch and get on the ball and pass it around and be creative. He's the one that gets into the box, so you lose that sort of the amount of goals that he scored by playing 2 up top, which would be a real problem. So there's a lot of questions among the fans. I listened to them, I talked to them during the summer, and they're frustrated, still very, very frustrated, even though they've got these 2 players in.
Yeah, it could be busy the next few weeks. But I have to say, Liam, I'm really excited to watch Casper Hu. He was so impressive for Bodø Glimt in the Champions League last season. Atletico Madrid, he scored against Manchester City, he seems like a big character, a big personality from listening to his interviews. Nothing really seems to faze him, and I guess having a big personality is important when you play in these massive games for Celtic.
Yeah, and he should have scored the other night as well. He had, I think, a hat-trick of opportunities, and you could tell by his reaction that he was berating himself for not taking at least one of those. Because obviously, if you're a striker and you're going to a big club like Celtic, the sooner you get that first goal, the better. But he has been in decent form for Bodø Glimt this season as well. Of course, they play the summer calendar, scored 7 times for them over the course of this calendar year. And as you mentioned there, his Champions League goal scoring exploits certainly weren't unnoticed last season. In our season, we're still playing this winter calendar, obviously. But he's the big man. He's the record signing. He's the statement signing that the club was hoping to make, and the sooner he starts scoring the goals, the less pressure, if you like, will be on the Celtic board going into the final 2-3 weeks of the transfer window, because they will be expected to splash some cash there. I think if Arne Engels goes, that's going to be for ginormous money. I mean, in Scottish terms, you're talking, I think Celtic looking for something in the region of 25 million for him, which would be a fabulous piece of business.
Do you think that's likely? Do you think that will happen before the end of the window?
Well, the one thing that Celtic Kairat and denied that Champions League bounty. It's not just the money, it's the prestige of being in the tournament. It's those Champions League nights at Celtic Park. Johnston, it was no coincidence when he came in at the back end of last season that Celtic's form picked up. Dyson Maeda was scoring all the goals, but Johnston is such a huge player for the Celtic team, and I think it would be folly almost to sell him before the end of the Champions League playoff second leg in a few weeks' time. But yeah, Johnston's another one who I think the Celtic fans are braced for losing. They just hope that it will be towards the end of the transfer window, which also gives them a chance to potentially replace him.
That Champions League playoff, it keeps coming up, doesn't it, Pat Nevin, against Lask? It has to be mentioned. It must be at the back or the forefront of all their minds at the moment. How difficult will it be to focus on games like today when you've got that at the back of your minds, and it could make such a huge difference to a season?
No, they'll be able to focus. The players will be able to focus. But, I mean, from the fans, from the actual football club's point of view, it is extraordinarily important. I mean, Celtic see themselves as a team that should do well in Europe, but there's been a lot of difficult times. You know, they've not gone far for a long time in Europe, and you know there's been reasons for that. And you know they've come up against teams sometimes that have had more money than them, and that kind of happens sometimes. But there's a complaint with Celtic fans, and I do understand it, that there's a lot of money within the club that's not been spent, and they feel as if that money should be spent on players. And to go back to Liam's point, if you do cash in either Engels or Johnson, or indeed both of them, that money must be spent. Now, at the moment, Celtic have spent, was it 11 million on who? And but remember, they got money in for Dyson Maeda, allegedly £10 million. So the fans will be looking at it thinking, now come on, now there's money in the bank anyway, and you're getting money for players yourself, such as Dyson Maeda and maybe one of those other two. You've got to make it count. But it's the timing of it. In the past, the timing's not been right, and it's cost Celtic very, very dearly. And that is the circle they have to square. And by the way, it's not easy, because everybody's looking to buy players just now. You can't just walk out and go, oh, we've got a great midfield and we've got a great right fullback, because everybody's looking for players. It's a tough gig, but that's what your job as the club is to do.
Yeah, but the question on that, sorry for cutting in, the question on that is, should they have done their business a lot earlier? You know, they've known this since Nicholas Kuhn has left. The right wing, for example, they've James Forrest, you keep relying on him. He's getting older, he comes off the bench, he'll do his job, he's a good professional, but you can't rely on him for the season, and that's the problem. You know, so that's what the fans are thinking. Why is the business not being done? And it's taken them now nearly a year and a half to fill that position, and that is a problem. They brought in Balakwisha. He's totally misfired, and he's gone, and they haven't been able to replace him and bring somebody in. So that's a problem.
There is a suggestion that there's a Hassan possibly coming in. A big name for Celtic is Jota. He's been out for a long, long time.
He's not ready, Pat.
He's not ready. You're right. It's over a year now, you know, since he's been. And he was such an impressive player. For me, he was the most impressive player alongside McGregor for Celtic when he was playing at his very, very best. But it's been an ACL. It's been a long time. So, yeah, we're talking here negatively about Celtic, right? They're the champions. Come on, let's get this right. You know, I think a lot of other clubs in Scotland would love to have some of those problems, but I think we're all agreeing completely. There needs to be more bodies in there, and I think Martin O'Neill is well aware of that.
So we're counting down until commentary. Celtic away to Kilmarnock. Let's get the views of both Pats on this game. There should be goals, shouldn't they? Up Kilmarnock losing 4-3 in their season opener last weekend. Neil McCann, their manager, not impressed at all. He said, I didn't find it entertaining whatsoever. We got exactly what we deserved from the game, which is nothing. So he was quite harsh on his side. But surely we're in for some entertainment after that 4-3 last week.
Yeah, listen, Neil has been brought up as he's a forward-thinking player. He loves to have his team on the front foot. He showed that last week by scoring 3 goals. But you've got to get a balance right. You've got to get a defensive. Now, Billy Dodds is with him. He's assistant. And Billy would be more practical, I think, from a point of view. And they'll have done their homework. They'll have done a good piece of work this week to prepare themselves for this game, because they know they will have to defend and defend well today. So I don't expect them to lose 4 goals. They might lose the game, but to lose 4 goals again would be criminal after what happened last weekend. So it's going to, and he'll have them charged up. That's the other thing with Neil McCann. He'll have them out there. I think last year they did well against Celtic at times. They lost out just at the end, but certainly he'll have them charged up.
For anyone watching or listening in to the commentary, this is the thing about Scottish football last season. There was a lot of games that were closer that you didn't expect to be close. And even this season, Celtic's starting game, 1-0 against Dundee. So it's none of these games, particularly away from home, and it doesn't matter if you're Hearts, if you're Hibs, if you're Celtic or you're Rangers, you cannot walk out like they sometimes did in the past and think we'll cruise through this one. It's a bit harder now. There's a lot of teams well organised. There's a lot of teams that are fighting, and we've got a lot of belief in a lot of these teams. So Celtic are favourites. There's no doubt about that for A, winning today, and B, the league. But it's not a foregone conclusion in either of those.
Back with the two Pats and Liam McLeod very, very shortly. Commentary coming up, Kilmarnock against Celtic. But let's check in on the 100. Sunrisers leads against Welsh Fire. Henry Moran.
On the cusp of victory, Sunrisers leads and a win that will eliminate the Welsh Fire. It has been a target of 122, which has been chased down really with consummate ease thanks to the efforts of Phoebe Litchfield, 55 off 25, and Annabelle Sutherland, 28 off 18. They need just 5 runs from 31 deliveries, so they're going to get home with time to spare. Sunrisers leads. The second match of today sees a huge game between Sunrisers Leeds and Welsh Fire men, both teams still with a chance of qualification.
And we will have commentary of that game a bit later on 5 Live Sports. Sunrisers Leeds men against Welsh Fire. Don't miss that. Joe Root against Harry Brook. Just looking at a friendly taking place at the moment. Manchester City in action. They are 2-1 up against Atletico Madrid. Omar Marmoush has just found the back of the net. You can follow that one over on the BBC Sport website. And they will keep you across the only game in the EFL Cup today as well. Mansfield Town against Sheffield United. So all that over on the BBC Sport website. But right now, here on 5 Live Sport, we are going to cross to Rugby Park. Martin O'Neill won't be there. That is the news which has emerged today. After his minor procedure in hospital this week, it will be Sean Maloney who will be in charge of Celtic. Martin O'Neill watching from home. Let's head over to our commentary team now at Rugby Park. Pat Nevin, Pat Bonner, and first of all, Liam McLeod.
Liam McLeod.
And a very good afternoon to listeners on BBC Radio Scotland and on 5 Live. It is a damp Greek day in East Ayrshire as Celtic make the short journey down the M77 to Kilmarnock, having secured a 3-point haul on match day 1 that their title rivals from last season failed to do. Though they were made to sweat it out as they were on their 2 visits here last season, as they take on a Kilmarnock side on the wrong end of a 7-goal thriller in the Fair City against St Johnstone a week ago. And for the first time since 2014, the teams stride out here at Rugby Park onto a grass surface. The 12 years of plastic are over, and the new hybrid pitch being used for a competitive match for the first time. And Kilmarnock had to use West of Scotland League Auchinleck Talbot's Beechwood for their home League Cup group matches. At times the Astro was a serious leveller for Killie. It may well be that the new surface will suit the likes of Celtic, but will it suit the home team? Let's find out. It's going to be Killie to kick off, shooting from right to left as we watch from away back at the back of the main stand in their blue and white kit. Celtic wearing their change colours of dark green and black. We'll go left to right towards the Moffat stand. If you happen to know Rugby Park, we are also on the opposite side of the stadium from where the TV cameras are housed, and it will be Killie who will kick things off any second now. The referee is Ryan Lee, a relative newcomer to second full season as a top flight official, the 29-year-old from East Lothian, and he is assisted on VAR by Andrew Dallas and David Dickinson, and he's just waiting to get the nod from the television floor manager down below us. And we are just about ready to go in the rain, the drizzle continuing to fall down onto that new.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current
flick across, trying to head that for a teammate, or certainly trying to head it into that far corner.
Tories, John Jules, whose season ended when he went off injured after scoring against Celtic here. Ingles steps in, goal kick. Kilmarnock wanted a free kick.
Frustration there from John Jules. He felt he was brought down. You see Yang does get the ball.
There's a foul by Infeco on Duran.
Duran over by that right touchline. Infeco giving him a clip.
Flurry of goals pre-season from Camilo Duran, playing out wide at the moment. I'm sure Martin O'Neill will be thinking of a way to get the two new strikers together.
Yeah, I think there'll be an element of horses for courses at times.
Ifeko, gathered by Sinisalo.
Yeah, those Kilmarnock centre-forwards are going to work. The Celtic centre-backs, Carter Vickers and Trusty.
Celtic won 3 times here last season on the old artificial surface. Twice against Kilmarnock and once against Auchinleck Talbot in a Scottish Cup tie that was switched here.
Kilmarnock happy to lead 3-on-3 at the back when the balls go long from Sinisalo. That situation, Yang and Duran have to work really much quicker. Work off the flicks if the ball does go through from Casper Hu.
Eric Ring up against Kieran Tierney. Striek in goal for Kilmarnock. He's literally kept 3 clean sheets in his previous 5 games against Celtic, but it didn't take long for that not to happen today. Kilty.
It's a brilliant pass to Kilty. The needle thread from Striek there to Kilty on the half turn.
This has opened up for Greg Kilty. But it disappears all the way across.
He thought there was a touch. He's causing Celtic all sorts of problems. Runs off the back of McGregor there. Needs to find that far corner, whether it was heading in or not. Opens his body out.
There's a corner for Kilmarnock. Kilty, your captain this season. Dr. Brad Lyons exited to Aberdeen. This could be a training ground routine as Lowry's strike is diverted for another corner. Almost.
It's brilliantly worked. There's the run near post, little set from John Jules, and the strike comes in from Lowry. Celtic get fortunate.
This looks like it will be more orthodox. Kilty sends it in. Knocked on by John Jules, and Sinisalo had to push that over. It's another corner, but there are sprawling bodies at the moment after a clash of heads.
A bit of innovation from Kilmarnock from these set plays. Vickers and John Jules. A clash of heads. Sinisalo not taking any chances.
Well, it's been a breathtaking start to this match with both teams going for it. Sean Maloney in charge. He's been a manager himself before, of course, at Hibs and Wigan. Carter Vickers and John Gills have to go off. Meantime, Kilmarnock have yet another corner. Guilty over it. Some big targets in there as well. Quite a bit of height in the starting 11 for Killy. Kilty taken by Simisalo, and he's going to roll this out for Negron. Sent back by Brandon. Duran up against Schoening Larsen. Johnston for who? Engels. Negron. Tisbola. And tidy from Kilmarnock. Lowry. Brandon. Vickers and John Jules back on the field of play. Stanger, Hugo.
Wasn't a great pass up from Hugo, but really good build-up play from Kilmarnock there.
Negron. Johnston. Duran. Negron. Yang.
Needed to take a touch there, Yang, and Tierney would have been on his way.
Engels. Strick saves. Brandon on hand. His clearance stopped by Tierney. Hugo. Guilty. John Jules. Smack in the face there for Austin Trusty.
It's a flailing arm from John Jules, and Trusty takes it. Saw one. It's accidental. It's one of those things. He's back on his feet, having a word or two with the referee.
A lively opening quarter of an hour. Tisbola. One back by Trusty. Casper Hu away to Camilo Duran. Alistair Johnson is about to go outside of him. Duran goes for goal, and Striek is called into action again.
Well, they empty that left back area. Fullbacks. Neil McCann likes to get them in wide early on, and Celtic countering. Smart save again.
Negron into Johnston. Yang. He has connected with Kilty.
A good start to the game, Kilty. And a bit of defensive work. winning the free kick.
This new grass surface has taken in a lot of rain today. Well, it is August, so much so that we're playing under the lights already at around 1:45. Lowry.
In fairness to Kilmarnock, see the match stats there. Both had a few shots. Lively start to the game, but mentioning the pitch last week for Kilmarnock, sticky surface, wasn't it? Didn't suit them. They've been slick on here so far.
Ring lost out there, and Kieran Tinney's on a mission here. Engels back for Negron. Off the bar, Casper Who, Tinney. Oh, we've seen some brilliant blocks in this game already. Celtic almost 2-0 up, but Kilmarnock found a way to keep it out.
And we saw the amount of shots in this game already. There's a golden opportunity on a couple of occasions for Celtic to go further ahead.
Engels, header from Who.
There's a little slip outright, clever cut back, and Negron must think he scored. It's a brilliant save. And you just couldn't get the power and direction on the header. How important could that be from Striak?
Lowry now for John Jules, looking for Hugo. Yang. Stanger. Celtic taken out by Carter Vickers. Celtic fans singing Martin O'Neill's name as he recovers from a small procedure. Duran. Casper Who only up against danger at the moment. He's got Yang in support, but he's been surrounded.
Good recovery runs, but should have got his pass off earlier, Casper Who.
Tishbola. Tishbola is signed for Kilmarnock for a 5th time. Stanger into Hugo. Carter Vickers on his case.
As well there, Hugo backing in.
Brandon Kilty popping up in a few places of note. Lost his way there with Trusty nearby. Vickers pops that up straight out.
Poor pass, I think Negron could have played that out earlier to Mr. Johnson. There we see in those Kilmarnock average positions how brave they are in pressing Celtic, but I mean, Celtic have had all sorts of opportunities and they have got through that Kilmarnock press.
Sliced by Striek. Made a remarkable recovery after heart surgery last season. McGregor.
With that diamond that Kilmarnock are playing with, it's important Celtic They switched the play quickly, utilised the fullbacks.
Johnston. Duran for Johnston. Duran. It's Kieran Tierney and Striek with another save. And back come Kilmarnock in this end-to-end encounter. Eric Ring, terrific run, but he's just hit the pass.
Just got to take the weight off the pass. End-to-end once again. Decent save from Striek. Tierney telegraphed his shot after good work on the right-hand side from Celtic, but some game this.
Well, the goal came just into the second minute of the match from Casper Hoover. There could have been a few more since. More at both ends. Here's Yang. Tierney. Oh, that's a decent cross for Nygren. High for him.
Always gets himself into dangerous positions. Just can't get over the header. This was the Tierney effort. Goes safe with the side foot, and Striek read it, but the one earlier when Nygren thinks from this range I'm going to score, Striek goes down to his right, but still manages to flick the ball fingertips onto the bar. Huge save.
Terrific save that from Striek, who's been kept busy. Kilmarnock kept 4 clean sheets in their League Cup group stage, and then when they conceded 4, St Johnson, some really galling goals for Neil McCann to have to take as well. Who? Nygren. Duran. Up against Shefeko here. Lowry. Kilty. Vickers spins away from Kilty. Yang. Engels. Tierney. Off the ball there between Hugo, who's going to get a yellow card for it as he collided with Engels.
Yeah, well, Engels making a similar run there to the one which led to the first goal. There's a pullback there from Hugill. Kieran Tierney will probably be saying, well, why didn't you let me play on?
And he might have had a point. But it is a free kick, and Tierney has the ball. Celtic looking to double their lead. They might need to, the way this game has panned out so far. Kieran Tierney floated in. Carter Vickers down for Yang. Now there's a break on, well there would have been, but Eric Ring allowed Callum McGregor in.
Yeah, smelt the danger. Well there, Callum McGregor. I don't know why Yang just doesn't get a shot up. It's on his favoured right foot as that ball's dropping.
Engels. Nearly tripped by Engels. Channing Larson. Hugo chasing. Trusty there first.
Yeah, he likes to take a chance at times, Trusty. A little bit too casual there. Got himself channel side. Gives away the throw in, and centre backs coming forward for Kilmarnock. Load in that box.
Long throw incoming from Hugo. Yang took it away from the incoming Hugo.
Sort of want him in the box if you Kilmarnock, don't you, Hugo?
They need to find someone else for them long throws. It's danger. Just having a word.
There's a couple of nibbles there, maybe fortunate not to see yellow.
Channing Larson has found a way through to Kilty. Hugo, Tierney there. With an important intervention. Danger dealing with Casper Hu, but Nigren for Duran. Brandon caught out. Duran, recovery from Yefeko to block it and to head it away there.
That's got to go early from Duran to the far post. Celtic would be 2 up. Dallied, tried to take it himself. But Kilmarnock running the risk. 3v3 at the back, and Duran does brilliantly to anticipate it. But you can see top of the picture, Yang just squaring.
Half an hour of many chances, but still only 1 goal. Striak's mistake. And he has to recover to push away. Engels struck.
What an incredible half an hour of football we have seen. Yeah, Striak, I mean, that's dreadful. And Engels goes for placement. Striak gets back and makes an important save.
Now Nigren and Celtic come again. Casper Hu, Engels. Kilty flicked it away.
He's unlucky there. Hu just trying to cushion it off his chest.
Incident-packed first half in the quest for goals.
Neil McCann said, didn't he, before the game, that the way Kilmarnock, he wants his Kilmarnock team to play, is built on bravery. I mean, they are brave in the way they're playing, but you know, you could argue a little bit kamikaze.
Celtic have had 14 attempts already in this game. Half of them on target.
Big save Striak has made in this first 30 minutes.
Tierney. Given away by Yefeko to McGregor. Duran. Nygren alongside. It's Casper Who! Well, now the goals are coming! It looks like the start of a special relationship, this, between Casper Who and the Celtic support.
Well, didn't have his shooting boots last Monday night, but he's got them on this afternoon, and it's 2 for Who. Mentioned that when Kilmarnock are playing Kamikaze, and it's a really tidy finish, but he's got time and space just to stride onto the ball, and it's an accomplished finish. Finds the corner. Striek, who's made some incredible saves in this first half, can't get a big enough hand to that. Shake of the head from Neil McCann. Too brave or plain stupid.
Well, Celtic are sitting pretty on this 2-0 lead now. Casper Who double. Casper Who scoring with Celtic's 15th attempt in this first half. Over the top of Who. Free kick goes to Kilmarnock.
Well, as a member of the Strikers Union, this used to infuriate me. He has a little look, but he backs in. I think that's a harsh one.
Celtic go again with Nygren, Duran one side, Who through the middle, Duran, it's Who! It's a hat-trick! What if it didn't happen for him on Monday night? It's happening for him now! Casper Who with a first half hat-trick to demolish Kilmarnock. Stunning and spectacular.
Yeah, and below us there's a fair few Kilmarnock fans who have had enough, but mention the kamikaze nature of their pressing at times. Kilmarnock, and it's a brilliant ball from Durant, just hung up, and Casper Who does what all good strikers should do, peels to the far post. Position of maximum opportunity, he can't miss. 3 and easy for Celtic.
Well, a breathtaking half of football for Casper Who. We saw on Monday night his ability to be in the right place when it mattered. And 4 chances went begging then. But he has 3 goals in this first half. Up and running and some.
Yeah, I mean, the interview after the game on Monday seemed a confident character. And that's what Celtic were thinking. They were signing a penalty box striker.
A hat-trick in 33 and a half minutes for Casper Who. Yang now for Engels, could be another one on here for Nygren. Trespolo got back to clear. Kilmarnock blown away. Will drift away from Engels, but Celtic already in a very good position here. And we finished. The Carabao Cup continues down south with Mansfield against Sheffield United from 3:45, Sky Sports Football. And there's a Devon derby tomorrow as Plymouth host Exeter from 7 o'clock, Sky Sports Football. Brandon. People coming in on that, but Kilmarnock dispirited now, having offered a fair bit to this first half themselves.
Mentioned it, you know, it's okay to go toe-to-toe with superior teams, and Celtic, of course, over the years have been superior to Kilmarnock, but when you're playing against better players, what normally happens, if your press isn't perfect, you'll get exploited. That is what has happened this afternoon. They're still going 3-on-3.
Kilmarnock conceded 68 goals in the Premiership last season, their most for 22 years. They've already conceded 7 in their first 2 games. And there might be more to come with Celtic in this mood. Go get yourself a cuppa, Martin. And the guys are looking after everything here. Lowry for Shenning Larson. Tisbola. Lowry for Kelty. Kilmarnock desperate for some sort of response. Easily away by Carter Vickers. Johnson moves with a move to David Moyes' Everton. McGregor. It's a foul by Stinger.
Yeah, lovely layoff there from Asperhu. Martin O'Neill was critical of him at times on Monday night. Playing one touch is okay, playing one touch if it gets to the desired target. If not, then prepare yourself for what's coming.
Foul by Shenning Larson on Durant. He wants a word with Shenning Larson.
This is quite a long word.
Many words. Just for his reaction. Trusty. Engels. Johnston. Negrin. Tom Lowry has it. Negrin felt he was fouled. Celtic had to leave it late, very late on both of their Premiership visits to Rugby Park last season, but it's much more comfortable now. They were 2-0 down after 28 minutes here in February. A very different story thanks to Casper Hu's hat-trick. Brandon up towards John Jules. Johnston trying to hold him up. Carter Vickers has now the flag gone up anyway, just straight offside. It did look likely at the time.
Yeah, it's pretty close as to Johnston taking up a good position and getting round anyway.
As it stands, there will be 2 minutes added on to what's become a difficult first half for Kilmarnock after a devastating goal blitz from Celtic. Yang, Engels, Brandon steps in, Ring, one back by Yang, now Nygren, Engels, McGregor, Tierney gets involved and gets a cross in, which is screened by Tishbola.
Yeah, but hasn't done a lot of screening this afternoon. The amount of space Nygren has got just running off the back of him. So eager to press, but been really careless, Kilmarnock.
Trusty. Under pressure by Hugel. Brandon. Celtic have a 3-0 lead, and Max Striek has been called upon a few times as well to make some decent saves.
Absolutely, made a couple of 3 really important saves. The one which from Benjamin Nygren off the crossbar. Wondering how important that may well have been, but it was at 1-0. And it's been a stroll for Celtic.
Yang. Nygren hooked up there with Duran. Casper Hu up against Stanger.
He's got a lot of thinking to do. They are, his team are taking one hell of a beating now. Celtic quick switches of play, that diamond. One on the outside of the diamond, struggling to get out to the ball.
Mr. Johnston's throw. Engels. Tierney. Yang. So the first half is drawing to a close. There it is. Well, Casper Hoos spurned 4 chances against Dundee. He's taken 3 chances here with the first half hat-trick. The right place, right time kind of striker. Kilmarnock almost equalised when they were 1-0 down, but then Celtic inflicted further damage. Half-time on the grass at Rugby Park. It's Kilmarnock 0, Celtic 3. Racing towards goal. It really opened up for him. Opportunity for Hibs. There's the chance. Can he get his cross in? He can. Great ball in. And Josh Campbell has done it. The scene is set here. These scripts write themselves. And there's the moment they craved. Portugal on the Nations League winners. That is a sublime goal with a stunner. And the moment they've been threatening. Full stop. Casper Ho, and Celtic in such a comfortable position here. It's such a formidable record at Bodo Glimt. Sean Maloney overseeing matchday operations for Celtic today, with Martin O'Neill watching at home. Martin did go to Celtic's hotel this morning to speak to the players, but continues his recuperation. Celtic in a really good place. And the hat-trick hero, Casper Ho, will start this second half. Celtic will be in the mood for more, such is their way. What do Kilmarnock have to change here, Chris?
Well, they need to stop giving away so many chances. I think they need to be more on point with the press. I mean, they're pressing in the first half and Celtic were just playing around them, getting behind midfield especially. It was an uncomfortable first half for Neil McCann. It's all about the next goal, isn't it? You get the next one, they might feel that they have a sniff.
We saw the former Rangers man Kurt Broadfoot there. He's joined Neil McCann's coaching staff this season. Shelling Larson, Kilmarnock man too. Lowry. Oh, Hugo just touched away by Carter Vickers.
He did brilliantly there, Carter Vickers. Had to be really switched on, trusty, sloppy on that occasion.
Kilmarnock shaken by conceding 7 goals in a game and a half in this new Premiership season. They do have Robbie Dees to come back into their defence. Like Liam Scales. Oh, it's a terrible mistake from Striek there. An absolute howler from the Kilmarnock keeper. And Benjamin Nygren says, cheers, thanks very much for that. 4-0, an absolute shocker from the keeper.
Well, I mean, what can you say about that? You keep persisting in trying to play it from the back. I mean, that is just dreadful. I don't know what he sees there, but he clearly doesn't see Benjamin Nygren. Nygren composes himself well, finishes high into the back of the net. Great start for Celtic in this second half. And Neil McCann, well, he tells them to play out from the back, but he doesn't tell them to pass it straight to the Celtic forwards, I can assure you of that.
Well, the man who kept the score down in the first half has let the score go back up. Max Striek. Kilmarnock conceded 4 at St Johnstone. Conceded 4 here, and it might get worse. Casper Ho, Yang, Duran. Oh! That looked like he was heading in, but just off the bar from the other new boy, Camilo Duran.
Yeah, Ben Casper, Shadow had a decent pre-season, Duran, and you can see he's got a tremendous left foot. Give him too many sighters.
3 goals in 3 pre-season games for Duran. A kick for John Jules as he became entangled with Engels. Lowry. Duran back defending to good effect. Colby Donovan on for Alistair Johnston. No injury apparently, but he did have a rather long summer excelling for Canada.
Yeah, that's a luxury for Celtic, isn't it? Now, Mr. Johnson to the rest second half. You see Neil McCann. He looks like he's ready to burst.
Engels away to Tierney. Yang. Tierney back to Yang. Confronted by Brandon. Benjamin Negron scored 1 minute and 37 seconds into the second half, and then of course Aspaho got his first goal in the second minute just of the first half. Colby Donovan going for glory and not finding it. Kilmarnock face their local rivals Ayr United here on Friday night in the League Cup. Be another big crowd for that one as Sinisalo just keeps that in.
It was close. I think John Jules was offside anyway off the flick.
Stranger fends him off for now. McGregor, look at the space here. Yang, Kieran Tierney arriving on the scene. Of course he is. Likes an early cross. Who? And blocked by Yefeko.
I've got to say, Kilmarnock, Johnny Larson there, ridiculous flick. I don't know what he was seeing. Got to try and get hold of the ball there, and guess what? Celtic break up the field. He has thumped that. Casper who connected there, and that's a really important block. We're behind that. I think that was heading in.
So Engels will take this corner. Flicked away by John Jules for another one. Lace tying for Tom Lowry, delaying this corner.
Easy for a footballer to tie his boots up.
I've had that a couple of times already this season. Here's Tierney to swing this one in. And away by John Jules. Schoening Larson, Kilty wanted a pass. Negron, Tierney. Kieran Tierney straight at Striek.
Good one from Duran there, just allowed Tierney to come on the inside on his left foot. You fancy him to strike better than that.
John Jules. Schoening Larson. Familiar sight amongst the Celtic supporters. Celtic last scored 5 goals in the Premiership match back in May 25 at Aberdeen. They've already racked up 4 here and appear to be in the mood for more. Yefeko on Duran.
Duran does really well there. Gets his body and takes a touch. Courageous on the ball. Easy to just flick at things and play things blind.
Tierney, back to Trusty. Carter Vickers goes direct here towards Hu and towards Yang. Yang! Oh, plenty of power on that one, but it fizzed wide.
When you've got a centre forward who can use his body, you can hit big diagonal balls up to Casper Hu, just doing enough. We're going to Yang. He wasn't far away there, Yang, off that left-hand side.
Here's Eric Ring. Promotion to the Championship in England last season with Lincoln City. John Jules, Lowry, and it's perfectly placed by Schilling Larson. Kilmarnock have a goal at least. And that's all they've got to show for this game.
Yeah, I've got to say they work it brilliantly. Really good slick football. A couple of giving goes in there. And a clever pull back there, and the pass from Ring just allowed Larry, in fact, it just allows Schilling Larson to strike the ball first on. The finish is cool, right-footed, whipped into the far corner. And Kilmarnock get one back.
Well, McCann nodding in approval at that moment as Michael Schilling Larson scored his third goal for Kilmarnock, got the winner against Hearts here last season. Also scored against Dundee here.
The guys in the studio, they normally get a lot of things wrong. They said there'd be goals in this game.
Well, Celtic did keep a clean sheet against Dundee, but it will be only 2 clean sheets in their last 16 Premiership matches. Not that it's likely to matter much on this occasion, unless Kilmarnock can go in search of another. Guilty. Brandon. To Spola there. Guilty. In the corner.
Another goal now from Kilmarnock. That'd make it interesting.
Guilty's corner. Tispola's header. Got great power on it. Carter Vickers, who missed so much of last season, and Celtic certainly missed him, conceding 41 goals in the Premiership, most since 1992-93 season.
Yeah, big deal. Cameron Carter Vickers back fit for Celtic. Been outstanding. Look at the piece. Really has been. Celtic, you just have a different feel with him as a centre half.
Carter Vickers up to Engels, trying to tee up Duran here, and he has done. Fired at Striek.
He'll be disappointed with that. Strode onto that. Another good run from Engels.
approaching the hour mark at Rugby Park. Schoening Larsen scored Kilmarnock's goal, but they need a few more. Ring. Danger. McGregor pounces on that, and Kilmarnock could be ruthlessly exposed again here. Casper Who slides it through. Brandon Clears actually came back off McGregor.
Yeah, Brandon got back to his credit. What a great pass from Casper Who. Once again, making it difficult for themselves, Kilmarnock, giving the ball away. Celtic break, and just not on point with that pass.
Engels by Kilty. Engels is having none of him. Honor Engels' 100th game for Celtic today, 17 goals, 21 assists. He continues to be linked with a move away from the club. Would you keep him, Chris? Or
yeah, I would keep him, but yeah, it's an interesting one. I just think you take him out of that Celtic midfield and they don't have the legs and the dynamism. Gets around the park. There's nobody at the football club who can do what he does in that midfield area.
10 out of 10 Premiership penalties as well for Arne Engels as Sebastian Tonetti prepares to come on. Who did spark the comeback here back in February when Celtic were 2-0 down, came back to win 3-2.
Moving the ball quickly now, Celtic, and mention space in those wide areas, that narrow Kilmarnock midfield.
Nygren, Donovan, Duran will be marshalled behind by Defeco. Too much on it from Donovan. Camilo Duran is the man who will make way for the arrival of Sebastian Tonetti. Plenty more to come from the Colombian, the first Colombian to play for Celtic.
Yep, I like the look of him, and I think if you asked him, he'd say, well, I'd much prefer to play as a central striker, but doing a job for the team. Selfless player.
Well, he'll get a standing ovation as he walks past all the Celtic fans at that end. So Tonetti goes to the left, Yang to the right. Kilty steered away by Trusty, but John Jules onto this. Kilty away to Schoening Larsen. Tisbola. Brandon now for Ring. Kilty. Brandon. A bit too much on the cross. Knocked in by Hubel, and he found Schoening Larsen as well. Hubel is the long throw man. As we mentioned earlier, the trouble being that he's one of the guys you'd probably want to see on the end of these. for Killy as Duran continues his long walk off. Silasalo has taken the number 1 jersey this season after Kasper Schmeichel's departure, but Celtic are seemingly in the market for another goalkeeper.
You've got a lot of good contacts, you have.
I just make it up. Schoening Larsen. Yang. Engels opens himself up and has Tenecti available. No way Engels is getting to that, although actually turned out closer than it looked.
Yeah, you know what, I think Tenecti has got a real point to prove. Not consistent enough last season. Got an opportunity now to show what he can do.
Yeah, 5 goals and 3 assists last season. You want a bit more from a winger.
It's a nice first start at Kilmarnock, and he looked quite lively, or one of his early games, most certainly.
Debut here in September, scored here in February.
He's quite direct on his debut, and he just looks like a player who's lost a bit of belief, a bit of confidence.
Here is Tenecti. He'll get a free kick for that. Callum McGregor. Trusty. Kasper Hu.
It's got to be a foul, hasn't it? Don't get that refereeing at all.
Ryan Lee is the man in charge. Kilmarnock are going to bring on Bailey Rice shortly, who's on loan from Rangers. Of course, we saw Finlay Curtis on loan here in the second half of last season, and he ended up in Scotland's World Cup squad. Bailey Rice was injured for much of last season, and he made one appearance in the League Cup tie for Rangers. I think he's going to replace Eric Ring. Yang just clipped Schoening Larsen. Josh Bowler and Yang grounded.
Quick shift there from Yang and draws the foul.
Eric Ring moves away swiftly from Tierney. Mark O'Hara is also going to come on for Kilmarnock in place of Tyrese John Jules. So a double change and a corner. Which Greg Kilty will take.
Celtic, 20 minutes left, still work to do.
Kilty's corner comes back in his direction. Actually going to be a triple change for Kilmarnock. Ian Owen, who came from the Welsh League with Barry Town, will also be joining us. Kilty. Oh, that's some cross. Steered away by Tierney. Now Celtic flooding forward with Nygren. Celtic has a chance to have a go at Brandon here. He did. And Casper, who hits the post. The overhead. And is blocked by Tisbola, and Yang thought he was getting in on the act.
The direct from Tonekti does really well. Stands the ball up. Look at the positioning from Casper, who great power on the header. Just not the direction. And then Yang, not a clean overhead kick from Yang. Tisbola for a corner.
Which Arne Engels will take. There's a disorderly queue forming. Engels corner. Nygren couldn't get close to it. Now Greg Kilty, only Colby Donovan back at the moment, but Yang's pace will see him catch up a bit. Schoening Larsen though, and Yang is able to clear it.
Brilliant recovery from Yang. Opened up well that for Kilmarnock. Schoening Larsen putting the burners on.
Straight through from Eric Ring. There's movement from the Celtic bench as well. Luke McCowan and James Forrest. Tonekti lets that go for the corner. There will be activity from both benches. Just back to a double change now for Kilmarnock. They were going to bring on Ian Owen as well, but they're waiting on him for now, and also checking on Schoening Larsen. James Forrest will be coming on for Yang, and Luke McCowan will be coming on for Benjamin Nygren. Sure he's chilled out enough. Actually, he looks uncomfortable. Might be like that on my sofa later, mate. So Yang is replaced by James Forrest, Celtic's most decorated player. Benjamin Nygren, who was gifted a goal at the start of this half by Max Striek, will also make way for Luke McCowan. Came on as a sub 25 times last season and a couple of times already this season. Kilmarnock are going to have a rethink on their changes, because Schoening Larsen looks like he can't continue. Meantime, it's this Celtic corner. We are bringing on Mark O'Hara, who's come back where it started for him at Kilmarnock. So he replaces Schoening Larsen. Bailey Rice waiting to come on for Tyrese John Jules. This could be the longest wait for a corner ever. Back problem for Schoening Larsen. Now here it comes from Arne Engels. Trusty tried to make contact. Tierney's in there too, and it's found a way in. He's only just come on. Well, talk about an instant impact. Luke McCowan scores seconds after coming on as a sub. Goals galore for the champions.
What a start for Luke McCowan. All smiles. Wonder whether there was a little tug on his jersey before that. I thought Trusty actually had a free header at the near post. He misses it completely. And then there's a little tug, but McCowan persists. Clever finish. Right-footed, just hooks it. Stryak into the corner, just has to concentrate on the connection. That's a lovely finish, maybe. Stryak unsighted.
The 12th Celtic goal for Luke McCowan, super sub. Into the final quarter of an hour. Kilmarnock fans are streaming away now. Casper Who? It's across here for Tenecti. Striat stops that.
How's he missed that? Tenecti, brilliant from Who. Tenecti strolls into the box.
Here's McCowan. Fancies another now, and the pass was on to Tenecti. Tierney does do that pass. No, he doesn't. As Ring tries to bring this away. Trusty across.
Should have been 6 for Celtic. Really good from Who, gets his head up, early pass, and you can see which side he should have gone. Not a confident finish. If he looks up there, he can just stroke that in, wrap his foot around it, easy finish. Should be 6 for Celtic.
James Forrest hoping to score for an 18th successive season.
The change with Kilmarnock substitutions. Ring's gone into that right back position, and Brandon come across the left back. The body in the middle of the park for Neil McCann's team.
And the Ring did fill in at right back from the off at St Johnstone last week. But they have brought in Jonathan Meyer, who will play in that right back position. He's in Bayern Munich's academy. Tenecti here for Casper Who? Striat guarding his near post.
He's had a busy afternoon, hasn't he, Striak? Underlap there from Who. Decent power on the shot. Kilmarnock keeper had to be alert.
Kilmarnock are about to lose back-to-back Premiership games for the first time since Neil McCann arrived in the middle of last season. McCowan took one there from Mark O'Hara.
Mark O'Hara saying, did I catch you, Luke? He most certainly did. Accidental.
He's going off here, but I'm not sure the guys came on to treat him anyway.
He may just be asking the assistant if his nose is still straight.
Ring. Disbola. Ring. Danger. Lowry. Brandon. It's a weak effort. Waiting and waiting, and now back on. Danger up towards Hugel, dealt with by Trusty. Callum Osmond will be coming on for Celtic shortly. Scored a big goal against Rangers in the League Cup semi-final last season, then injured, and then we didn't see him again till the final day, and we certainly saw him then as he raced away to put the ball in an empty net.
I think that Celtic fans may remember that for a long time to come.
Casper Hu, the hat-trick hero, will be replaced by Callum Osman. Only his fifth appearance for Celtic, but Osman has certainly got himself noticed, and so has Casper Hu today with a hat-trick. Just didn't go his way against Dundee on Monday night, but everything came together perfectly today. And that, today's version of Casper Hu is the version we're going to see a whole lot more of, I think, as he's replaced by Callum Osman.
Yeah, not just about his hat-trick. Chris Boyd said at half-time, thought the way he linked things together, held the ball up, he had a superb game, really did.
Well, his interviews are quite fun as well, and we'll probably be hearing another one shortly with Luke Shanley. Callum Osman showing interest in this, and Striep has to use his head right on the edge of the box.
Different type of striker now for Celtic. Diminutive figure of Callum Osman, he'll stretch that Kilmarnock back line, but Celtic can't be so direct when they go into him.
Carter Vickers over to Tenecti, up against Ring. Tierney, lovely return here for Tenecti. Engels, Kilty won it back. If tennis is your thing, the Canadian Open continues, day 8 from 5:30 on Sky Sports Tennis later today. Bowler. Brandon. James Forrest doing some defending. Ifeko. Brandon. Bailey Rice with a header. Knocked back by Donovan. So Kilmarnock conceding 4 at St Johnstone in their opening game, 5 here today, and local rivals Ayr United, who've had a decent start under Gary Naismith, might be fancying their chances when they come here in the League Cup on Friday night.
Well, Neil McCann has a lot of thinking to do.
Tenecti. Tierney and McCowan. Forrest for Donovan. Engels. Trying to shrug off Yefeko. McCowan. Tierney. Tenecti. Snuffed out by Ring, but it will be a corner.
Yep, don't mind that from Tenecti. Direct. Celtic have a new set-piece coach. They haven't been overly inventive so far. Maybe he's keeping something back.
So another corner for Engels.
It's a great ball. His delivery is absolutely sensational. It's 4 times, gets so much whip on the ball. Really difficult to defend.
Trusty now. Engels back to Sinisalo. Hearts have had a challenging start to the season, but they are 2-0 up inside 15 minutes against Dundee United. At Tynecastle, Tom Reno, who nearly joined in the winter window, opened the scoring. Calvin Miller then with a penalty. Well, Hearts finally come good under Walter Rankin. Some difficult games so far, to be fair.
He has, and on a human level, I think we'd all be pretty pleased for him. Tough start.
As it stands, there will only be 3 minutes added on unless we get further stoppages before that point. Celtic set the tone by scoring after 64 seconds, but Kilmarnock had chances to equalise that were squandered, and Celtic took full advantage.
He did, but Neil McCann last season when he came in, he was a front foot manager. You may just have to reassess when he's playing against the top teams how he sets up. And Celtic have enjoyed the pitch, the new pitch, a lot made of it. And maybe Kilmarnock fans thinking maybe we should get the old plastic pitch back after today.
Been an awful start for Neil McCann's Kilmarnock. Nine in a row for Celtic, 9 wins in a row against Kelly, and 9 wins in a row in the Premiership after that amazing 7-match winning sequence at the end of last season. They finished on the goals front, or will they add another? The final minute of the 90 with 3 more to come. Tenecti. Tenecti into Engels. 3 more minutes is confirmed. Tish Bowler. Kilty. Blocked by Trusty. And he's getting to that. Osmond. Engels. James Forrest through the middle. The touch is good. And the finish not quite there.
What a ball. What a ball this is from Arne Engels, and a couple of errant passes in the last few minutes from him, but I think he's been terrific this afternoon. Forrest takes it in his stride. Decent first touch on his weaker left foot, went for power and pulled his shot. Yeah, I wouldn't be selling him in a hurry.
Celtic have their Champions League playoff against the Austrian title winners, Lask Linz, and League Cup tie ahead at Dundee United next weekend. Their next league match is at home to Falkirk at the end of the month. Cowan, Osmond, Forrest. Do Celtic have time for one more? It's James Forrest. Striek saves. Striek did drop a clanger for that 4th goal, but for him, though, this could have been a lot worse for Kilmarnock. He's had 11 saves in the game, the most in his time in British football. Forrest. McCowan, and Luke McCowan's in unselfishly to Forrest. Well, he might have taken it on himself.
Yeah, he should have taken it on himself, was unselfish, and Forrest should have scored.
Hugo! Sinisalo collects that.
Just trying to walk the ball in, Celtic.
Should have been number 6 for the champions.
It's a ring. If you're a Kilmarnock fan, though, you've got to be concerned. I know it's Celtic, the champions, coming to Rugby Park, but they have been wide open at the back.
As convincing comes. In the absence of Martin O'Neill watching at home, Celtic did what they can do. A headline-grabbing performance and hat-trick from Casper Hu. And there'll be plenty more to come on that front as a love affair begins between him and the Celtic fans, for sure. Benjamin Nygren, we just saw there, got in on the act after a terrible mistake from Max Striek. Luke McCowan scored just after he came on as a sub and might have scored again at the end. Difficult and challenging start to the season for Neil McCann's team, who had chances early in the game and certainly had a go themselves, but in the end they were totally ripped apart by the champions and by their new number 9, Casper Hu. He wants the match ball, and no wonder. It ends on the grass at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock 1, Celtic 5.
Bye.